Hello, math friends. Today we're going to talk about comparing slopes and equations and graphs. Let's just talk about what we see on this graph. I see a blue line, and it has a positive slope. It's going up from left to right. And I have a black line, and it has a negative slope. It's going down from left to right. But if I take a look at my two different lines, oftentimes what we talk about in math when we're looking at graphs of lines is the steepness of the line. So if I look at the blue line, it's not a very steep line. It's not going up at a very fast rate. If I look at the black line, it is going down at a much faster rate. It is much steeper. So if I were to compare the two slopes of these lines without doing any work, I can tell you that the black line has a bigger slope in absolute value. It would be a negative number, but it's going to be a bigger number in absolute value than the blue line because it is steeper. Let's take a look at what the equations might look like. I might have these two equations, y equals 3x plus 7 or y equals 8 minus 5x. The first step is for me to be able to pick out the slope. So I have to remember that the equation of a line can be in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope. So in this line, my m is 3. And over here, my m attached to my x is a 5, but I have to be careful because it's subtraction. So I could chop it and say, hey, my slope is negative 5. So I'm comparing 3 and negative 5. If I were to think about that, what it means on my graph, this means that this line is going up from left to right, and it's going up for every 3 it goes up, it goes over 1. This line is going down, but for every 5 it goes down, it goes over 1. So it's going down at a much faster rate. So one way to think about it is that the bigger the slope in absolute value, the steeper the line. So if I think about the absolute value of 3, it is of course just plain old 3, and the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. If I compare it, 5 is certainly larger, so when this line is graphed, it's going to have the steeper slope. I invited a couple friends along to help me out with this. It's Elmo and Cookie! Everybody loves Elmo and Cookie. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so Elmo graphed the line y equals negative x minus 7. There's no number out in front of my x, so I have to remember that when there isn't, it's like there's a 1 there, right? In math line, so that's a negative 1. Cookie wants to pick the cookie that has a line with a steeper slope. Why wouldn't he? Which graph should he pick? Cookie's thinking very hard. If we take a look at the slope of each of these lines here, my slope would be 2. And here my slope is 2/3. And here my slope is 3/4. These all have positive slopes. So the slope is going to be an exact match to the absolute value, since absolute value is always positive. Over here, we know that Elmo's line has a slope of negative 1, and absolute value, that would be a 1. So we're looking for which cookie has a number for the slope that's bigger than 1. And Cookie, what do you think? Number 1. And Cookie is correct! The first cookie is the slope that is bigger than Elmo's. So Cookie is the winner. I think we should let him eat all the cookies today, don't you? Have a great day!